Hello YouTubers, this is Jacques from The Moving Icon, and this is the first in a series of impressions videos for the Canon EOS 80D. I just purchased it and I want to talk about it. Hello YouTubers, this is Jacques and I am here to talk about my new purchase, the EOS 80D. I do have an unboxing. Check it out. Whoever is interested in unboxings, I just don't get it. But anyways, there's an unboxing video here to tell you what's inside the box. And let me just talk quickly about my workflow and how I work so that you know whether to click this video off and go to the next or whatever. I am a videographer. And my main goal is to get good video out there. I strive on having high quality photos within my videos. Therefore, I'm a videographer who likes to have great photos. That being said, my priority still has always been video. So I just wanted to say that because if you are someone who's very photography centric type person, maybe this isn't the video for you, but I think it is. It might be because I do, I pull my own weight photography-wise as well. Also, another thing I'd like to mention is the fact that I do already own the EOS 6D from Canon. It's a full-frame camera. Obviously, with full-frame, we're talking about kicking ass in low light. We're talking about beautiful tolerance, and we're talking about just great photos. We're talking also about using the EF line of lenses and taking advantage of the whole lens resolution, which is quite nice with the EOS 6D. I just want to go through a couple of things in my impressions so far with the 80D, and they're all positive. I just want to mention to you. I needed a camera that was APS-C, and the reason why is that with the shallow depth of field of a full-frame camera, it gives you a lot of dramatic film results. There's no doubt about that. Coupled with a nice open lens, you can get some extremely great results. That being said, though, when you're talking about low depth of field on a full frame, you can talk about ridiculously low depth of field. I'm talking about focusing in on a person and they move their head just a tiny bit. You focus in on their eyes, and if they move their head a tiny bit, the other eye will be out of focus. One will be in focus and the other eye is out of focus. Your depth of field can go all the way down to maybe a centimeter, ½ inch, an eighth of an inch. So it is a good thing because you can get some dramatic bokeh, you can get some out of focus looks in the back, and that's really great. But at the same time, full frame cameras can be a bit of a drag when dealing with wildlife or any sort of show photography or any sort of sports photography. Therefore, I need an APS-C sensor camera. So I shopped around, and if you check out some of my other videos on DSLR over mirrorless, I'll tell you why I bought the 80D. But suffice to say, I bought the 80D and I'm really loving it. I used it in a show environment. The first thing I noticed right away was its intuitive autofocus. This camera has brought me back to autofocus. The 6D had definitely convinced me, hey, maybe I should be manually focusing in a show environment. And I got pretty good at it. I'm pretty good at it. I can actually focus on something moving quick and get my shot. But it's something more to think about. The 80D, I have started going back to using autofocus. It is fast, it's quick, and for some reason, it knows what I want to focus in on. I just photographed a show recently with a lot of subjects in it. And there's a lot of people moving around, and for some reason, it knew which subject I wanted to focus in on. So photography-wise, in a show environment, in a fast, quick environment, you will be satisfied with the Canon EOS 80D. Focus is way quicker than a lot of their older cameras, and they have made great improvements. Another thing that I really love is the touch focus function on the Canon EOS 80D. When I do film, I pull out the flip screen. You can have your image while filming on the screen in live view, and you can touch wherever you need to focus. It has been very, very, very useful in the filming that I have done so far. I have owned this camera for about 10 days, so this is from someone who has used it for 10 days. Touch focus is fantastic. Servo autofocus really works well. It works excellently. It works on most of my Canon lenses. So far, I have used it with the 7200 2.8. I have used it with the 85mm 1.8, and I have also used it with the 16 to 35 L 2.8 Canon lenses. I've used it in servo autofocus. Does an excellent job. It constantly focuses in on what you want it to focus in on, and it focuses quickly. Very, very important to mention. Images are better than old Canon APS-C cameras. I used to own the 60D, and I was always freaked out a bit about the noise. It is an APS-C sensor, so there is noise. There's more noise than on a full frame. There's more noise than on my 6D. I can tell right away. When I look at my 6D and I look at the 80D, there's a bit of a difference, but there's less than there used to be. There's less than on my Sony A6000 that I used to own. It's very good, and I think what happens is that with the new improved processor, they have worked hard on getting rid of noise associated with a smaller sensor. So that is another thing that I really, really do like about this camera. Right now, my go-to kit when I do event photography is the Canon EOS 6D with a fixed focal 85mm. It is just the right focal length to get the shots that I need in my shows and the distance that I'm at. And I also have the Canon 70 to 200 that I put on the APS-C. So you're talking about a 1.6 crop, and you're talking about a lens that's such good quality that even though you're only using a part of the actual lens resolution, it still is really good quality. So that's all I wanted to say today on the Canon EOS 80D. Stick with me. I'll talk about pros. I'll talk about cons. One of the big disappointments about the EOS 80D is the fact that they didn't put any video-centric stuff in there. I do not know why they don't put focus peaking and they don't put zebra. I just don't get it. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and if you want my high-quality stuff to see what I do photography-wise, you can go on my Behance profile. If you like this video, please do not hesitate to click the thumbs up at the bottom. And if you want to keep in cahoots with everything I do, please subscribe. And don't forget, everybody, keep on making something from nothing.